Hello, 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 and welcome to the Ball and All podcast. My name is Mpho. This is your basketball podcast. We do basketball throughout the year, NBA, WNBA, Basketball African League. We do the podcast for them, and we chat for I chat to you, and you let me know what you think in the comment section. So thank you for the comments that have come through. It's been really, really helpful. This week, the past month it's been WNBA. Now we're in the playoffs. It's a playoff recap. We've just had a night of incredible basketball. The 2 single elimination first round playoffs. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the second round, and we're going to try and figure out who gets out of the second round and who goes on to face the 2 teams that are waiting. That is the Las Vegas Aces and the Connecticut Sun. But before we do anything, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Please also follow me on Instagram as well, and also on Twitter. My handle is @Mpho. So now, thank you very much to all those who watched the first video last week. It was quite a great to get the support. Now, the first game of this playoff. Let's have a look at the playoff picture. Then we'll discuss each of the games. So, playoff pictures as follows: the New York Liberty on Sunday didn't need much. Both the Sparks and the Mystics losing gave them a playoff berth. This is a playoff berth they haven't had in a while. Remember last year they were the first pick in the draft. They've managed to get 2 seasons and now finally gone into playoffs. The Wings also were there. And so the first game of the night were the Chicago Sky against the Dallas Wings. It was an interesting game. I really did enjoy it. Chicago, you could see with the veterans and the experience, Candace Parker, Kalia Copper, Vandersloot, Ali Quigley were quick out of the gates. They put Dallas under pressure. At one point in the second quarter, Dallas were behind by 21 points. It was just Kalia Copper with 23 points. Vandersloot ended up with 17 points. But Candace Parker, 11 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. She was 3 assists away from a triple-double. What was important with this was defense. The Chicago Sky defense, which in the second half hasn't necessarily been the same as it was in the first half. When they left in the first half, they were the best defense. Remember, they went on that run when Candace came through, that unbeaten run. I think it was about 10 games, about 8 games, and then we went into the hiatus. And then, so you got that in this game. It was just defense. Steph Dolson, Big Mama Steph, if you know her on Twitter, and Candace Parker really laid that foundation in the front court and enabled the backcourt to play really, really great basketball. What happened was that it ebbed and flowed to a certain extent, because the moment the third quarter began, Dallas, after they come out of that the halftime break, they then went on a run of their own. Satu Sabali went on a run of about 8 points, and 8 points on the trot, which was really good to see. Good to see her coming back. You could see that she's still not feeling 100%. She even had a moment where she had to, her teammates had to cover her so she could vomit towards the back end of the game. So she was a lot more tired. What Dallas needed was another player in that front court who could help them with their scoring. Mabry was there. She just couldn't do it. Marina Mabry, who you could call one of the contenders for 6th man or even a most improved, she couldn't live up to the billing. She only came out with 3 points, really struggled with her field goals. However, what you got from the 2, it was Sabali and it was Ogunbowale. Sabali ended up with 12 points and 4 rebounds, and Ogunbowale 22 points and 2 assists and 2 rebounds. But it was the team, the bigger team, the most experienced team of the Chicago Sky. What Dallas need to figure out in the offseason as they go away. Remember, Dallas were the first. They had the first couple of picks in the draft. They were the worst team last year. To make it to the playoffs as a 7th seed is a massive improvement, and really well done to them. Now they need to take that extra step. Now they need to find that playmaker in the front court who can assist Ogunbowale as well as Satu Sabali. Awak Kea could be that player. Also, Charlie Collier could be that player. But Charlie Collier didn't play today. Owake only had 7 minutes. So they need to figure out how they can get that someone else who can support the scoring from that perspective. Now, that was the first game. And really well done to Dallas. Chicago Sky move on. They will play the Minnesota Lynx. The next playoff game, as you can see there, was a massive, massive one. Phoenix Mercury and New York Liberty ending up with a 1 point. It went down to a Brianna Turner free throw, and that was interesting because the strategy that the Liberty were enforcing today was they were not going to give Brittany Griner freedom of the city in that paint. Whenever she got the ball, they doubled her. It took a very long time for Brittany Griner to actually figure out and for Phoenix to figure out what they were going to do. However, Phoenix did start off well. They were, I think, their first 11 shots, they made 11 of the first 12 shots they made. In that first quarter, they were very good. But in the second quarter, New York came through. They kept on pushing. They kept on bringing the game back, and they did. And it was neck and neck, and there were a lot of lead changes in this game. The one thing that was really impressive was how New York matched this team toe to toe. Whenever and they led for large parts of the game as well, and it was Phoenix who were chasing, and Phoenix came back, and you kind of felt that you didn't know which team was the higher seed or not, and those are the best games. Yes, maybe everyone wants to have a 3-game series, and then in that Phoenix would go through, but single elimination gives the lower seeds so much more opportunity to do that upset, and we nearly had that upset. It went down to the final 2.7 seconds. 2.7 seconds, New York had the ball. They called for the timeout. They advanced the ball up. They needed a point to tie the game and take it to overtime. And what they ended up doing, didn't go to 2.7, went to 0.4 of a second. 2.7 was when Brianna Turner, and was a 3-pointer that tied the game for Phoenix or from Sophie Cunningham, which I'll talk about after this. But it went down to 0.3 points in that game. And the play that New York chose for the final play of the game was a 3-point shot to Sabrina Ionescu about 5 feet away outside of the 3-point line. She was turning away, didn't look good. They were trying to get her free. They couldn't. I would have actually been a little bit more comfortable with a play that got either Betnijah Laney, who in the game had gotten 25 points, and gotten her to try and get it in the paint and either get a foul or get the easy bucket. So I would have tried to have a screen, free her out, and then after that, get her the ball in the paint. So maybe even a high-low, someone screens high, she rolls down, she gets the ball, and that would probably be a much better opportunity, but that didn't work out well. What helped Phoenix? Because today, Brittany Griner wasn't having the best of games. Skylar Diggins-Smith came through with 22 points. She was always great. She scored 40% from 3, 44 from the floor. It was Sophie Cunningham. She came on, gave them the energy in the third quarter when New York had the momentum. She hit 6 of 9 threes, 6 of 7 threes. That's 85%, and made 3 of her free throws on the route to a career high 21 points. It's really, really good for them and for her going forward. This Phoenix team doesn't look championship material. They look very brittle, and New York took them to the edge. They got through, and they'll be happy to get through, but it's something that they probably need to fix. But well done to New York. They got the first pick in the draft last year. They weren't, last season they weren't that great. It took them 2 seasons of a rebuild. This year they got a lot more experienced players in and around Ionescu, and they also probably have Rookie of the Year in Michaela Onyenwere. She didn't play a lot today, but they really are building something there. They've got Natasha Howard, who scored 16 points. They've also got Rebecca Allen, who came through with 11 points. Ionescu scored 14 points and 11 assists, a really good double-double for her. And in her first playoff appearance, she didn't win, but it's something that New York can build on, and that's something they can take away from this. Really great effort, really, really awesome. It came down to the wire, and with games like that, they can go either way. It just didn't fall for New York. Now, let's look over into the further games. Round 2, that's happening on Sunday. First game will be the Seattle Storm against the Phoenix Mercury, then the Minnesota Lynx playing the Chicago Sky. Remember, at the final week of the regular season, Seattle Storm played the Phoenix Mercury, and the Storm won that 94-85 without Stewie, Breonna Stewart, who we're expecting to come back next for this game. But in that game, Jill Lloyd went off for 37 points. She was 9 from 9 from the free throw line, 4 from 7 from the 3-point line, 12 from 23 from the field, so 52%. Very good showing from Jill Lloyd. That was a career high. Mercedes Russell at center doing really well. And Ezi Magbego coming in for Breonna Stewart scored 15 points in that game. So I look at this and I'm like, okay, we could have a bit of not necessarily a better matchup for Phoenix. I don't think they're going to double Brittany Griner, but that's a strategy that that Seattle could use going forward. In this is to try and double Brittany Griner and try to see what the rest of the Phoenix team does, because they were very static against New York. They didn't know what to do until Sophie Cunningham, who came in. She was cutting, she was moving, and gave Brittany Griner the ability to find somebody out on the perimeter to take the shot. They let her go because they didn't think she was a threat, and she punished them. And those are the type of things that could happen if the Phoenix get it right. They just need to get the ball moving. Phoenix will need Skylar Diggins-Smith to do quite well. They will need Brianna Turner to come through, as well as Kia Nurse. Shea Petty didn't have a great game today. She needs to come through, as well as that point guard. She scored 17 in the last game against the Phoenix Mercury, but against New York, she only scored 4 points. So it's going to be similar styles. Brittany Griner probably gives the Phoenix advantage in the front court, but in the back court, you've got Sue Bird as well as Jill Lloyd really bringing it through for the Seattle Storm. I still think Seattle will win this because I think with Breonna Stewart there, they have one of the best women's basketball players in the world. And Brittany Griner, yes, is having an MVP-esque season, but everyone else around her isn't doing well. Diana Taurasi didn't play today. She might not play on Sunday. So that's also going to be something that we're going to be watching out for, and people need to watch out for. The second game is that Minnesota Lynx Chicago Sky game. This one is a mismatch of all mismatches. One team, their backcourt is very good. That's the Chicago Sky, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. They let it fly, and they can shoot at will. Vandersloot, Ali Quigley, CP3 can shoot from 3. Kalia Copper can shoot from 3. So they're very good. In the season series, they did split between them and the Lynx, but the Lynx have a very good backcourt. Sylvia Fowles, Nafisa Collier, really good, strong backcourt that can give them the foundation. They score a lot in the paint. They don't shoot a lot of threes. In the last game, they played against the Sky. First game, Minnesota only scored 8 3-pointers, whereas the Sky shot 24. On the other hand, in the next game, Minnesota only shot 7 3-pointers. 12 3-pointers. But they ended up and Chicago only shooting 26. So you can see the contrast inside. One team very good inside, and one team very good outside. But one thing about Chicago Sky, which could be an upset alert, Candace Parker, Big Mom Steph can come through and cause a lot of problems. Azura Stevens is a capable center. Defensive center, so she's going to have a work cut out with Sylvia Fowles. Candace Parker is going to have to be the one leading this team in the front court. But off the bench, you got Stephanie Dolson, who played 22 minutes, more minutes than Azura Stevens at center. I think they need to make that rotational change. She's a very good defender, and I think if they can do that, they can lock down that Minnesota team and just let that front court, Kalia Copper, Quigley, the backcourt of Quigley, Copper, and Vandersloot to let it fly and to score. One thing about the Sky today was that it wasn't all threes. They were driving in. They were creating lanes for themselves, moving really, really well and opening up the lanes for Candace Parker, for Kalia Copper. She brought the energy today, Kalia Copper. If it wasn't for her, this team wouldn't have won. And that's something that I think the Sky will do. I will pick the Sky here as an upset, largely because they're a little bit more match fit, and they also might just shoot the lights out away from home. The one thing that travels is defense. The better defensive team for me is the Chicago Sky, so they could make it through just for the fact that defense travels. That's what I believe. But we'll find out. Enjoy the games. We'll be back again on Monday with a recap of the round 2. It is single elimination, so you gotta be good and have a good day, or you will be going home. So that's it from me, from the Ball and All. My name is Mpho. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mpho. Please like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. And for myself, have a good day and goodbye. Masale.